this year's going to be insane. The UFC is stacked with title fights, and there are several exciting rematches coming up along with the return of a few UFC legends. But if there's one thing I can't wait for, it's Adesanya versus Pereira 2. Yep, the newly crowned middleweight champion is going to have to defend his title against his longtime rival, Israel Adesanya. This is the guy the champion defeated to earn the title in the first place, and it's still the best title fight that the promotion could have made. It'll be a chance for Pereira to prove to the world that he deserves his place at the top, and that his victory over Izzy wasn't just a fluke.
At 2 minutes, 1 second of the 5th round, declaring the winner by TKO and new UFC Undisputed.
The UFC has confirmed the rematch. It's going to take place at UFC 286 on April 8th in Miami, Florida, and I, for one, just can't wait. The bout will feature on pay-per-view, but the exact venue has yet to be announced by the UFC. Both fighters seem like they're ready for each other, and in fact, if you ask Pereira, he's ready to kill, or so he says in a message he sent to the last stylebender. The Poetan posted a photo of himself inside the octagon on his official Instagram. This was from his last battle against the Kiwi Nigerian. The caption of the image read, "Proto pra matar" in Portuguese. When translated, it reads, "Ready to kill." Oh boy, the champion has blood in his eyes, and from what he has shown so far, he's not going to stop. I mean, this was the guy that completely stopped Izzy in his tracks. Before fighting Pereira, Adesanya was basically unstoppable in the UFC's middleweight division.
20 seconds to go in the round. I don't know, Joe. Punts him with an elbow. Oh, he's hurt, man. Oh, another knockdown. Israel Adesanya.
The last stylebender claimed the throne of undisputed champion in 2019, and since then he had defended his title 5 times successfully. That's insane if you ask me. But when the Brazilian came along with plans of his own, it wasn't even that long ago. Pereira got his title shot in November last year at UFC 281, and I'll be honest with you, things weren't looking so good for him. Izzy rocked him in the very first round. In fact, he was just saved by the bell, and the following rounds weren't going any better for him either. Adesanya demonstrated why he was the defending champion as he put on a clinical performance. He kept tagging the Poetan from a distance and took him to the ground whenever he wanted.
I would expect the championship experience of Adesanya to start to take form and show itself.
Yeah, look at the big, deep breaths from the challenger. Oh, that was a good elbow from the bottom.
Overall, Izzy was executing his game plan perfectly, and it looked like the win was on the cards for him. But something changed in the final round. See, right before the 5th round started, Pereira asked his corner what he had to do to win, and Glover Teixeira, the light heavyweight legend, told him that the only way for him to have any chance was if he could knock out the then reigning champion. That's exactly what he did. He walked back in there as a man possessed and immediately went to work on Izzy's legs, low kick after low kick, until finally one made him stumble and the Brazilian pounced. He punched out the champion until the referee decided to wave the fight off. Pereira managed to secure victory from the jaws of certain defeat and claimed the middleweight title as his own. But this wasn't even the first time he did this. It was his 3rd. That's right, the current middleweight champion has beaten the former champ thrice. Alright, I admit it wasn't in the UFC all 3 times, but still, a win is a win. Back in 2016, Izzy and Pereira fought in the Glory of Heroes kickboxing tournament in China. The two men went through an absolute battle, but ultimately the judges decided to award the Brazilian with the win. Although the decision was kind of debatable, it was still a win for him. A year later, the two met again. This time, Adesanya had the clear upper hand. He even had Pereira against the ropes and was putting on a real beating on the Poetan. But similar to what happened in the octagon, Pereira waited for his chance, and as soon as he saw an opening, he ended the fight with a devastating shot to Izzy's chin. And to date, Pereira is the only guy that has been able to do so. Anyway, the fight officially marked the end of Adesanya's kickboxing career, and he joined the UFC in 2018. Guess he just wanted to leave that bitter memory behind, huh? In fact, back in 2020, Izzy was asked about Pereira in an interview. He said that he never watched any of his former rivals' fights because he'll never be relevant anymore. Adesanya went as far as to say that he's going to become a legend and a world champion, while Pereira will probably be the guy in a pub telling random people that he beat Izzy once. Guess he lost count of how many times he lost. The Brazilian took this personally, and months later, he signed a contract with Legacy Fighting Alliance to make his debut in the MMA world.
Kick. Over!
Whoa.
and out.
That's the power. Holy.
Since then, Adesanya was in his crosshairs. Pereira even called himself the stone in the shoe, hinting that Izzy won't ever get rid of him. Soon afterward, the Poetan made his debut in the UFC in 2021 by defeating Andreas Michailidis by knockout. He soon followed it up with a decision victory over Bruno Silva.
27, your winner by unanimous decision, Alex Poetan Pereira!
This got him a fight against Sean Strickland, who was the division's contender at the time. Pereira once again won by TKO.
Good because he's...
Oh! That's what I'm talking about.
That's why.
You cannot stand in front of that man.
And just like that, he got his title shot after only 3 fights in the UFC. Maybe that's why people were questioning his legitimacy. I mean, of course, almost everyone would feel a little sus if a guy became a champion after only 4 wins in the UFC. This is the most premier MMA promotion we're talking about, so it makes sense that the fighters have to prove themselves a little bit more. But from what I've seen, this guy is legit. I mean, the heart he showed to go into that 5th round against Adesanya and knock him out, that was a champion mentality, all right.
Speaking to it, all the clinch and the grab. Oh, my goodness.
That's what I'm telling you.
But the question is if he'll be able to keep that title for long. So far, Pereira has shown that he's an excellent striker. He's sharp on his feet and he hits like a truck. But how well is he going to do against a grappler? How good is his takedown defense? How good is his ground game? Those are questions that are just out there right now. And with the likes of Khamzat Chimaev taking Pereira up, this poses a serious threat to his credibility.
Using a lot of energy here.
Holland really wincing now.
He might tap. It looked like his right hand was breaking his tap.
For now, I think he's fine, because people are questioning Adesanya too, specifically his decision to take the rematch. Maybe he should have taken some more time off to build up some other aspects of his game. Henry Cejudo surely thinks so. He said that Izzy should have taken a break. He could have worked on his ground game some more so that he's a more complete fighter for his rematch. Let's face it, Izzy's title shot isn't going anywhere. He's a performer, he entertains people, and people want to see him fight. I'm not questioning his fighting skills. He's an amazing fighter.
Oh! Knockdown for Adesanya. Costa trying to recover. That is it.
But as it stands, Uncle Dana loves the guys that make him some money, so the last stylebender's always going to be safe no matter what. He would have gotten his title fight a few months later if he wanted. Right now, it's risky for him. If he loses again, he can say goodbye to any title chances for some time. And I think Pereira is always going to be his kryptonite. And that's all been the latest on Alex Pereira and his rivalry with Adesanya. See you in the next one.